what do you do for a living? And I say, I'm a musician. I'm a freelance drummer. They say, oh, that's really fun. So what do you do for a living? And there's so many tracks running with the live instruments, and it's all done by Ableton. So it's not as hard to get a break, but it's harder to get a break and then they call you back. Always believe in yourself, right? Because nobody else is going to do that. Yeah. Nobody else is going to believe in you as much as you need to believe in yourself.
All right. Welcome to the 4th episode of Mifical Podcast. I'm your host, Fred. I'm here with Matt.
Yo.
Isabella.
Hello.
And special guest today is Jef Vandervorst.
What's up, guys?
He's an extremely talented session drummer and the founder of Sunday Child Productions. So, Jef, you have about 10 years of experience in the music industry. Can you tell us a bit about how you started?
Man, I started when I was little. My parents wanted their kids, I have 2 brothers, all to play an instrument or learn how to play an instrument. And I could choose any instrument I wanted. And I just thought drums was the coolest instrument out there. I just wanted to make a lot of noise. And little did I know that I almost break my back every time I have to pack everything up and set everything up again. But anyway, so yeah, it started for me when I was 9, I think. And then I just went to the local music academy. And then, like you say, 10 years in the business was after I'd graduated university. I didn't study music, actually. I studied adult educational sciences. But after that was done and I got my degree, I was like, okay, now I want to do music. And I was doing music all the time. Anyways, and then I just focused on it, started teaching drums and playing in different projects, and then just took it from there. And one thing leads to the next. And yeah, I've been pretty blessed ever since. But you just gotta be a chameleon if you want to be a freelance musician. That's about it.
Yeah. What kind of productions have you worked on in the past?
Man, so many things. I've done theater shows, like a couple of musicals. Hairspray was one. What is the one they call like Somewhere Over the Rainbow? What's that? Magician of Oz or
The Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah.
That's it. The Wizard of Oz. Anyway, I call him the musician. And then I did a couple of cruise contracts, which was fun too. It's just every day you get a new gig. You got to read really well, and then one Monday night you playing a Latin kind of project, and then the next day it's a musical, and then the next day it's like big band stuff, and so that was fun. But I also played for different artists, and a couple in Belgium. I did a very big one in Turkey. She's called Hadise, and she's like the biggest female artist in Turkey. I call her Turkeyonce because she is like the Beyonce of Turkey. Yeah, she's huge. She's in The Voice, in The Judges, and like she has like 200 million views on her YouTube stuff, and like she's big.
Beautiful.
And yeah, I've been pretty fortunate to play for an Aussie band. Aussie artist Vanessa Amorosi.
Oh yeah.
That's the latest. So that was fun, and we're probably gonna do a little tour and at the end of this year too. So.
Oh wow.
Cool.
Also, you work on sound-alike projects at SAE.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell us a bit more about that? How long you've been doing it? And
man, soundline projects, they're tough, man. SAE, yo, let me tell you. I don't know who's watching, but SAE, jeez. No, it's fun, man. It's a good vibe, It's creative people trying to figure out, how to become better. And yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So sound alike is just you pick a song and then you have to reproduce the song as good as you can. And
to a T, basically.
Yeah, and yeah, so it's challenging. So I don't choose those songs. So they say to me, we're going to play this one. And then I just prepare the drum chart, and I try to get cymbals that are closest to the sound, and tune the toms closest to the sound, and and then just play exactly everything how it's played on the record. So that's fun because it's always different. So yeah, that's sound alike.
Yeah. Matt?
To our understanding, before you came to Australia, you started your career in Belgium.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, what was it that made you want to pursue a career in drumming?
In drumming?
Yeah.
Man, it's the coolest thing in the world. I mean, if you can choose, what to do with your life, just follow your passion. But it's not always easy. I mean, it's the most fun job, like creative jobs in general. I think, if you want to be a sound technician or you want to be a singer or a musician or a dancer or whatever, it's so much fun. But, the business doesn't make it always fun. It's always... nobody... That's the thing. It's like when I'm in Belgium, and what do you do for a living? And I say I'm a musician. I'm a freelance drummer. They say, "Oh, that's really fun. So what do you do for a living?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Yo, this is what I do." And that's the thing. People don't always. People think it's fun, but if like the Sound Alike project, you got to know your stuff. You got to know how to tune your drums in 5 minutes time. You got to know which cymbals to use. You got to
so you're saying prepared. Like people don't know how far it can come.
Yeah,
when it comes to
like
drumming.
it's a whole art thing. It's same with sound technicians. It's not just setting up a mic and that's it.
Yeah.
So, I always wanted to be a drummer. I actually, when I was in high school, I always loved music, right? But when you go to uni, like I didn't study music. I wanted to, but I'm like, let's get a degree and let's play it safe. And I knew I could, get a uni degree. So I'm like, okay, let's do that. Parents were happy too, just in case music doesn't turn out what it's supposed to. But I don't know if I'm going to say the same thing to my kids, man. One day I'm going to be, look, you know what you can do.
Yeah.
You know what you cannot do. Do what you can do and focus on that. And if I come to think of it, I always loved drumming and it makes me happy. So, why not give it a shot, and you'll fall on your feet eventually.
Yeah.
And so, I always wanted to be a drummer of a band or, project.
As a creative, have you picked up anything? Just anything like useful in the industry?
Well, what exactly do you mean?
So,
like sound-wise, or
like maybe between like since you said you come from Belgium and now you're in Australia, is there anything like you've picked up geographically wise, like the differences between the both industries, or is it all like kind of the same?
Oh, like the music industry, is it different here?
Yeah.
Compared to back in Belgium. Actually, it's the other way around. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's there is some. I mean, the business side is the same, right? Like you got to come prepared, and you got to be a nice guy. Nobody wants to play with a guy that can play amazingly, but he's not a real fun guy to hang around with. To not use the D word, sorry. Right? So you got to be a nice guy and then know your stuff. So that's the same. But there are differences. There are differences in ways that musos hang with it, around. Like they hang and they have a drink. And I feel like here in Australia it's more chill. In Belgium, it's chill as well. But I don't know. There's always this...
Like a tension?
Yeah, more tension, like don't take my job. I like you, but, and I want to keep you as a friend, but there's only so little job around. It's a small country, and, man, they make it hard for musos. Like in Australia, Melbourne, when everything's open, you can gig every week somewhere. Right?
Yeah.
We don't have that. There's only a couple places that allow you to play music. So... people hang, but there's always this tension, like, all right, like I gotta keep an eye out. And I don't have that here, so it makes it really much more fun, actually, here. I mean, I don't know, maybe they have tension, I don't know, but, maybe like, all right. But yeah, so I like the Aussie way. It's a little bit more chill.
Good.
Um, so to our understanding, you're endorsed by Yamaha. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so everybody's watching, buy Yamaha drums, all right? That's the best in the world. So I have to say that. Thank you. No, it was always a dream of mine to be endorsed by Yamaha. My first drum kit was Yamaha drum kit, and my dad bought it for me when I was 10 years old. And he just knew it was price quality was good. You know, it was not the best in the world, but it was the best drum kit in the world. But it was like pretty good. It was not the worst. So it was somewhere in between. And I always loved it. I played over the years on different drums like Tama, Pearl, DW, and I always went back to my Yamaha feeling like, I don't know, that it's personal. You know, any instrument, you guys know that it's always personal. And I just felt like I could express what I have to tell, you know, the best on a Yamaha kit. And they're so versatile. You can tune them. Like I take the same kit in these sound alike sessions, and I go from Toto to the Black Keys to some disco stuff, and it's always, I can just tune it. It's really fun. And so, yeah, it was always my dream to, if I have an endorsement one day, to be endorsed by Yamaha. And it just happened in a funny way. I wanted to, a couple of years ago, I don't know, 5 years ago or something, I was ready to take the next step in my gear, and I wanted to have the best kit that they have. And it's a lot of money. It was a recording custom. And it's the most recorded drums in the history of music. Recording custom, but over the years, I'm talking, 60s, 70s, 80s. And it's a famous drum kit, and it's from Yamaha. And I wanted it, and they had a new model out, and it's a lot of money. And so I asked a friend of mine who I did, I replaced him on some gigs, also in Turkey. He was playing with that Turkish singer. And he was endorsed by Yamaha, and I asked him, hey man, do you know where I can find the best deal for this kit, because I want to buy it? And he said, oh, you got to go there and to this shop. That's where I get my stuff from. And then I contacted that shop, and I said, yeah, this guy, my friend, sent me to this place and blah blah. And he's like, oh, what do you do? And I'm like, yeah, I replace him and I do this and that and this project. He's like, oh, okay, let me see if we can get you an endorsement. And that's how it happened. That's how it happened,
That's so good.
But things that are meant to be are meant to be. And the funny part was that the guy that deals with endorsementships for Yamaha in Belgium, he's more interested in if you're a good guy. He knows there are so many good musos out there, but if you're a good guy, that he can count on when he wants you to promote it or whatever, and you're not a diva and you're not late or whatever, right? And you reply on an email, like a week is fine, but don't let it wait for a month. And there are dudes that doing that all the time. So if he can rely on you, then he's more willing to endorse you than the next guy that plays for, for a really famous artist. I was playing all right, and that's how I, got in, and that's how I stayed in. And then I came to Australia, and I got together with him. I'm like, look, could you transfer my endorsement? And he's like, yeah, let me find out who's Yamaha Europe. And then Europe got in contact with Australia, and then they were great. They're a great support. And now I just have my endorsement transferred in Australia. So that's awesome.
That's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're the founder of Sunday Child Productions.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And on your site you offer drum lessons and Ableton lessons. Can you tell us like a little bit about like that and like the process and
how I came up with Sunday Child Productions?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know, but we've been in a pandemic for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And it sucks, man. So you had to change the game. It changed everything to go online. So I always knew I wanted a website. It's always good for a reference. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, I play for this and that and that. But if they don't know the artist, then that's it, right?
Yeah, you need the evidence.
So now there was a good moment for me to make the website. A Sunday Child, in my language, my mother tongue, it's Flemish. A Sunday Child is a zondagskind, and it means fortune's favorite.
Wow.
Right? So,
Yeah.
and people say that to me, you know, like I got the Yamaha endorsement and stuff. But I mean, I just try to do what I like to do. I just try to work hard and then be a nice guy, and then things will fall into place eventually. You know, so if things are meant to be, that's what I personally believe in. If things are meant to be, then they will happen. Just work hard and do stuff that you like, and don't be a D. All right, and then and then so I thought, oh, wouldn't it be funny if I call it Sunday Child Productions, right?
Yeah.
Like Fortune's Favorite Productions, pretty much, if you translate it to English. My wife came up with that, actually. She's great. Anyway, love you, babe. So yeah, that's how I came up with the name. And then what can I do? You know, you just try to put everything in there. Drum lessons, and then do it online. And for drum recordings, I have a little recording stuff back home. Ableton lessons. I've been doing live productions for artists as well. Like, if an artist has a album or a new single or whatever, and they want to go on tour to promote that, they want to play live gigs, they're not going to play exactly the same what they play on the album. They want to make a live show. They want to have an intro, a guitar solo, a break, whatever, something that loops, a dance break, whatever, right? So you have to have a live version of that stuff. And there's so many tracks running with the live instruments, and it's all done by Ableton. So I program those things on Ableton as well, and I teach that as well, how to do it and how it works and how to set it up and stuff like that. So yeah.
That's really cool.
That could be useful for all of us, I guess.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, check it out, man. SundayChildProductions.com.
Oh yeah.
Jef, is there any advice you would give to someone looking to break into the music industry?
Yeah, man. I do consultations too, by the way. Consultation, the difference is you just tell me where you're at and then how we can take your journey to the next level. And it's always personal. I mean, it's always personalized because everybody's journey is different. But yeah, how to get a break. Look, somebody once said to me that it's not as hard to get a break, but it's harder to get a break and then they call you back.
Yeah.
Everybody eventually will get a break at some point, you know, the next step. But they're not everybody's going to get the call back. So if you get a break, right, make sure you're prepared, you're professional, you play better than everybody else. I mean, you know, that's always the goal, right? You want to be the best you can be. And be a nice guy or a nice person, nice woman, nice guy. And then things will happen, you know. Yeah, like this Vanessa Morosi gig. I was just on a barbecue with some other musos.
Yeah.
And it was after a jam. I went to some jams, and then you play, oh, you're all right. You know, what are you doing this weekend? Oh, I'm having a barbecue with some mates. And then I end up sitting with these musos, and, oh, what do you do? And I don't know them. And, you know, you saw stuff, you know, I got my website and, you know, and all that. And then things will eventually fall into place. And I got the call, and it's like, yeah, I remember you talking about it. I think you can do this job now. It's very last minute. And then I did the gig, and he liked it, and now I'm in the band. So things happen, you know, the way they're supposed to happen. Just always believe in yourself, right? Because nobody else is going to do that.
Yeah.
Nobody else is going to believe in you as much as you need to believe in yourself, all right? Know what you can do, know what you cannot do, and focus the hardest on the things you can do, right? And then there's one rule I have. Nothing will happen if you stay at home. That's the one rule. So that's why I went out to that jam. That's why I went out to that barbecue, because any little thing can become the next and the next. And just keep working on your craft. And that's why, you know, I made the website, because I had time in lockdown. And that's it. Yeah. That's my biggest advice.
That's great advice. Thank you.
No problem.
Did you have any other questions?
No. I think we're all good for that.
Yeah.
All right.
I guess that's all we've got time for then. Thank you so much for joining us, Jef.
No problem.
Please check out Jef's website, SundayChildProductions.com.
That'll be fun.
And all his socials will be on the screen as well.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Boom.
All right, take two now.
Oh,
Outtakes.